Did you know Tom Hardy's intense performances draw from a life filled with challenges? Early in his career, he faced struggles with substance use, but he kept it hidden to keep working. Reflecting on that time, he described waking up in unfamiliar places, scared and unsure of how he got there. In 2003, the birth of his son became a turning point, giving him a new sense of purpose. Hardy credits fatherhood with teaching him the difference between wants and true needs, helping him rebuild his life. Did you know Rose McGowan's life has been anything but ordinary? Before rising to fame, the Planet Terror star was raised in a controversial new religious movement led by her parents in Italy. Known for its unconventional practices, it left a lasting impact on her early life. By 15, McGowan had emancipated herself, forging her own path to independence and eventually stardom. Did you know Woody Harrelson's life story includes a shocking twist? His father, Charles Harrelson, was a convicted hitman. Known for assassinating a federal judge in 1979, Harrelson Sr. served a life sentence until his passing in 2007. Despite their estranged relationship, Woody described his father as charming and well-read, though their bond remained complex. Did you know Charlize Theron's past is as dramatic as her award-winning performances? Growing up in South Africa, she faced a traumatic family event when her mother acted in self-defense, taking the life of Theron's father after he threatened them with violence. Despite this, Charlize rose above her troubled upbringing to become one of Hollywood's most celebrated stars, even earning an Oscar for her transformative role in Monster. Did you know Pierce Brosnan's life has been marked by incredible challenges? Abandoned by his father and separated from his mother as a child, he endured a lonely upbringing in Ireland, moving between relatives and a boarding house. Later, heartbreak struck when his wife Cassandra passed away from cancer, followed years later by the loss of their daughter Charlotte to the same illness. Brosnan also faced family struggles, including a strained relationship with his son Chris due to substance issues. Despite it all, the actor remains resilient, calling his unconventional childhood simply his normal. Did you know Kelsey Grammer's life has been marked by tragedy? At 13, he lost his grandfather to cancer, and a year later, his father was murdered in front of his new family. In 1975, his sister Karen was abducted, assaulted, and murdered, tragically succumbing while seeking help at an empty house. 2 years later, Grammer's half-brothers died in a diving accident. Despite these hardships, Grammer showed remarkable strength, even forgiving one of his sister's killers at a parole hearing in 2014. However, he firmly opposed their release, calling it a betrayal of her memory. Did you know Nicki Minaj credits her tough upbringing for fueling her drive to succeed? Growing up, she witnessed her father's struggles with addiction, which often led to violence and chaos at home. In one terrifying incident, he even set their house on fire while trying to harm her mother. Despite the past, her parents remained together, though her father reportedly dislikes her sharing these stories. Minaj's response? A cautionary message. Think about that. Dads out there who want to be crazy. Did you know Kevin Spacey's troubled upbringing may shed light on his actions, though it doesn't excuse them? His estranged brother, Randy Fowler, claims their father was an abusive figure, both physically and sexually, throughout their childhood. Shockingly, their father was also a white supremacist who maintained a Hitler-style mustache. According to Randy, their mother knew about the abuse but chose to ignore it, later admitting she and the father had also been victims of childhood abuse. Despite these claims, Spacey has denied his brother's allegations, while Randy has chosen not to have children, fearing the cycle could continue. Did you know Jack Nicholson discovered a shocking family secret in 1974 that changed his understanding of his past forever? Raised by the people he thought were his parents, Nicholson later learned that his sister was actually his biological mother and his parents were his grandparents. This revelation came years after both his birth mother and adoptive mother had passed away. Despite the dramatic twist, Nicholson took it in stride, saying, "It wasn't traumatizing, it actually made quite a few things clearer to me. If anything, I felt grateful." Did you know Terrence Howard made the tough decision to legally emancipate himself from his parents at just 16? Having endured physical abuse from both his mother and father, Howard's childhood was marked by trauma, including witnessing his father fatally stab a man when he was only 2. After his parents divorced, he was sent to live with his grandparents, but at 16, he struck out on his own in New York, surviving on welfare while pursuing his dream of acting. A difficult choice, but one that set the stage for his eventual success. Did you know Jim Carrey's early life was tough? After his father lost his job, Carrey had to drop out of school and work as a janitor to help support his family, even living in a van at one point. Despite this, he pursued stand-up comedy on the side, which eventually led to his big break. Years later, Carrey faced a personal tragedy when his ex-girlfriend, Catriona White, tragically took her life. She accused him of introducing her to drugs and STDs in a note, leading to a wrongful death lawsuit. However, it was revealed that White had faked medical tests and had been married to another man. After a long legal battle, Carrey was cleared of all charges. Did you know Oprah is one of the most successful and influential figures in the world, worth between $2 to $4 billion? Her story is even more remarkable considering her difficult past. She grew up in poverty, moving between her parents' homes, and faced extreme challenges, including childhood abuse. Despite these obstacles, Oprah persevered and went on to build an empire. She credits her father with helping her overcome adversity and become the icon we know today. Did you know Britney Spears' early life was filled with hardship? Her family struggled with poverty, and her father, an alcoholic, was reportedly so desperate that he hunted for food. While her mother sought to capitalize on Britney's vocal talents, Britney became the main provider for her family. By her teens, Britney was drinking, doing drugs, and facing a series of difficult situations. Despite the turmoil, including a high-profile meltdown and a conservatorship, Britney has triumphed, reclaiming her place as the queen of pop. Her journey from hardship to stardom is truly remarkable. Did you know in her autobiography Yesterday, Today, Tomorrow, My Life, Italian star Sophia Loren opens up about her challenging childhood during World War II. She shares how her family had to beg for food, struggling through some of the toughest times in history. Despite the hardships, Loren rose to become one of Hollywood's most iconic stars. Did you know 50 Cent, born Curtis Jackson, overcame a troubled past to become a successful musician? At just 12 years old, he was already involved in drug dealing. In 2000, he was shot 9 times but survived, turning his life around. In 2022, he made a surprise appearance at the Super Bowl halftime show alongside Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Kendrick Lamar, Eminem, and Mary J. Blige. Did you know Shania Twain faced unimaginable hardships growing up, enduring physical, verbal, and sexual abuse from her stepfather? At 22, after both of her parents passed away, Shania became the sole provider for her siblings, working tirelessly to support them. Despite these challenges, she went on to become a music icon. Did you know Leighton Meester, the star of Gossip Girl, wasn't born into privilege? Her parents were both in prison for drug trafficking when she was born. Thankfully, she was born in a hospital, not behind bars. Did you know Tobey Maguire's father once resorted to robbing a bank to support his family after Tobey's sister passed away from cancer? He was arrested shortly after. Did you know the Arquette siblings, including Patricia, Rosanna, and David, grew up in a hippie commune with no running water or bathroom? Their parents, both drug addicts, subjected them to physical and verbal abuse. Rosanna was even stabbed in the arm by their mother. Did you know that Marlon Brando's life was shaped by tragedy from the very start? Born to alcoholic parents and raised by a violent, controlling father, his early years were far from idyllic. The pain didn't stop there. His son Christian was involved in the shocking murder of his half-sister Cheyenne's boyfriend, and Cheyenne, who was pregnant at the time, lost custody of her child. Just 5 years later, she tragically took her own life. Brando's family history is a haunting example of how deep-rooted trauma can echo through generations. Did you know Marilyn Monroe, born Norma Jean, had a turbulent childhood? Her mother, suffering from schizophrenia, was frequently in psychiatric hospitals, leaving young Norma Jean to bounce between foster families. She dropped out of school at 16 and got married to escape her difficult circumstances. Did you know that Demi Moore's struggles with alcohol may have deep roots in her family history? Not only did she battle her own addiction, but she grew up in a home where both her mother and stepfather were also struggling with alcoholism. To make things worse, their volatile relationship was marked by frequent arguments and physical violence, all of which Demi witnessed firsthand. It's a tough reminder of how powerful family dynamics can be, for better or worse. Did you know that Drew Barrymore's rise to fame came with a dark twist? As a child star, she was introduced to Hollywood's vices at a shocking age, drinking by 11, addicted to drugs by 12, and even attempting to take her own life at just 13. After hitting rock bottom, her career seemed to fizzle out, but against all odds, she made a remarkable comeback as an adult. It's a stunning reminder of how fame and fortune can take a dangerous toll on young stars. Did you know Jennifer Hudson's rise to fame was overshadowed by tragedy when her sister's estranged husband killed her mother, brother, and 7-year-old nephew in a shocking act of violence?